Good afternoon. It's Al from the Korgis. Every week we try and right the wrongs that we've done. So we try not to make the same mistakes twice in a row. We like to make different mistakes every week. So this week's mistake, and this is what I'm writing right now, is that I changed the audio settings halfway through a live stream, which is unforgivable, and YouTube will not forgive you for doing it. So my audio went mysteriously quiet right as I went across to talk about all the different elements that went to make up the song. So I think we're just going to put that little bit in now, and everyone will be happy. There we are. So first of all, for those that don't know, this is a digital audio workstation. So this is what we record all of our material on, and there's an awful lot of tracks going on normally on these. Oops, sorry, that wasn't quite what I meant to do. That's the shortcut for that. Okay, so if we just click up here, you'll see that there's a lot of information on here. So this is all Roads Need to Roam, and this is what went into recording it. I think down here, this is the Hammond organ. See these wiggly lines here? That's all volume, that is. And so this would sound something like this. Very gospel-y kind of organ. And uncharacteristically, I played this organ on here. So normally we would get Nigel, our keyboard player, to come in, but I think I'd already done a guide thing and we thought, it sounds all right the way it is. Here is Nigel here on the piano doing some very nice piano stuff. Lovely. Lovely, and so on and so forth. We could go up all the way through this, picking out various different instruments. It's always interesting, the vocals that go on in the background. See these red vocals here? These are all lead vocals. So it's either James doing his regular vocal, but occasionally there is a double. It'll say James double. These things here where it's the chorus, where he's just sung along with himself, and it just gives us a slightly different texture. And then up here, all of these are backing vocals. And I think I talked a little bit about the backing vocals, saying that they were influenced by various different bits. Really, some of the influence of the vocal sound was about making it John Lennon with that slapback delay that I talked about. But the backing vocals themselves are a mixture between gospel. You get all of the stuff, I can't believe that you were dead gospel, that is. But then there was also the influence from perhaps a related style, the doo-wop bands of the, I think that was early 60s, late 50s, something like that, late 50s probably, the doo-wop bands. And we brought in a little bit of that as well. So maybe I can just grab, if I solo these backing vocals, you'll hear this is during a solo, this is. So yeah, that's about the size of it. That's what they sound like all together. I don't know how many vocals we can count up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At least 12. Yeah, and there's another block there. So about 18 vocals in that bit. It's not bad, is it? But they sound very smooth. The more vocals that you put in there, the more they smooth out. As long as you get them really tight. Otherwise, they sound like a bit of a mess. So yeah. That's it. Sorry, let me bring my screen back here. And the other little thing that I wanted to say here is this is one of the songs on the album where we use a bit of slide guitar. And I think when I first toured with the Korgis, which was in the 90s, and we were doing the This World's for Everyone album, I was really not very comfortable playing slide guitar. But I think as we've gone along, I've become a little more in love with it. And so this was one of the songs that featured a slide guitar solo. And it would have been it would have been this Gibson guitar here that I would have used, because I always use this for the slide. It has a big thick sound. It sounds very nice. Sorry, I'm just trying to get to the right preset for this so it sounds right. And it would be, if I can get it to do it, it would have been something like this sound, but of course when you use a slide, it's a different thing altogether. And I think we talked about the Beatles being a major influence, and this slide solo was what would have George Harrison played on slide, because he had the loveliest, lightest touch on the slide guitar. So that's what I was aiming for when I